Welcome to Sunny's Stampin' Studio, and today we're going to be making a really fast and really easy punch pal project, which is the Christmas pudding. Now, it's not that big and it looks really cute on tags or in the center of a card. I did mine on a tag today because, well, I'm going to be needing them with the gifts that we're going to be doing soon. And it actually takes very few punches. It takes one and a standard hole punch. So we're going to get started. As you can see today, I'm wearing a latex glove. I am tired of having inky fingers and it's getting really hard to wash out. So what we're going to need is our 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch a close to cocoa and a whisper white. And we're going to need our standard hole punch. Now when I say standard hole punch, I just mean this, which you find at any business supply store. Should be a couple bucks, and it's the standard size of your lined or ruled paper that the kids use in their binders. And I'm going to need that cut out of some oh, this one is Riding Hood red. Sorry, that was retired, but I happen to have that scrap in my bin. And then I have some green cardstock set aside, which is Kiwi Kiss, but Old Olive will work fine for this. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to take my first piece, which is the close to cocoa. I'm going to take my cutter, and I am going to just trim off a little section of my close to cocoa. I'm going to push this out a bit. Okay, so my last Christmas pudding is still there. I'm just going to put it in like this, and I'm going to trim a nice straight line for my pudding. I can discard the first piece and keep that one right there. Okay, and I'm going to set this aside for now. I want all my pieces cut before I actually assemble. Now for my whisper white, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw nice goo marks. Now what I want is that nice icing kind of dribbling down my cake. So I just kind of do a simple wiggle like that. And I'm going to, in case you can't see that super clear, we're going a little closer. So it's just it's not hard to do at all. And then once I have that one drawn out, I am going to cut it out. Okay. And this is actually quite fast and easy to cut out. Now, I kind of decided to do this, because it's, we need Christmas themed stuff, but I absolutely love food items. As far as stamps and punching goes. I just think there's something so homey about them, something so cute. And cakes and cupcakes are definitely on the top of my list for must-have punch pal projects. So I guess this would be considered my first cake. I've done food before, and that would be the sushi. And I have not done a video, although I will be adding a video into some of my back ones, which will bundle onto a DVD. So that if you ever if you don't have a broadband or internet, you can still get the chance to watch them. Okay. So I have that cut out. I keep my top portion. Of course, I have the pencil marks there, so I'm going to use the other side. And now for my little leaves. Now for the holly leaves are going to have to be hand drawn. They're really tiny. If you do happen to have the bear Christmas costume from the Build-A-Bear die, then you can certainly use the holly from over there. So to draw out the holly, I'm going to actually bring this in a little closer. I am going to just... and then I cut it out and flip it over so I don't have the pencil marks. Now, of course, I already have two pre-done, like this, and I'm now ready to start the sponging. Okay, so I'm going to set these guys aside, just pan out a little bit. Now, starting with my close to cocoa cake, I'm going to start with some chocolate chip for that nice dark color, which is really going to show up on the close to cocoa. And I'm just quickly going to add that sponging in. Like that, and around the top, one side. I need to keep one side lighter. I definitely want the other side to be dark to have that little shadow. Okay, so now that's how it's starting to look. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my whisper white and on my sponge dauber, and just going to add now. I don't want to get my sponge dauber inked up with chocolate, so just moving it away from where I did my previous inking. Okay, There we go. So now we have that little bit of haze of white on it, which adds the highlight. If you can't see it that well, just bring it in closer there so you can see how much I have. And then I'm going to add a little bit of texture with my marker. And I'm just using the Close to Cocoa marker, and I'm adding just little dots. Because if you ever had Christmas pudding, or plum pudding as it's sometimes known as, it's kind of speckly looking, and it has bits and pieces of fruit and the bread, and it has to be made well in advance. I have actually made one before, but you have to start months in advance, and I'm never that organized anymore. It was from actually when I was in cooking school that I did that. So for anyone who didn't know, in a previous lifetime, I used to work in kitchens. Okay, so I have my little speckles on. I'm going to set this aside and move on to my nice icing. I'm going to use a bit of creamy caramel, and I'm just going to add a little bit of my creamy caramel because it's a little bit of a vanilla topping. So it's going to have more of a beige haze rather than the blue for a pure white, which is what I normally use for my white objects. Oh, my son is trying to sneak out of his room again. And this is standard at bedtimes. Okay, so we have the icing done up like that. And now I'm just going to take my standard hole punch circle, and I'm going to use some Bravo Burgundy. Okay, I gotta tell you, using these gloves, my hand is getting really sweaty in here. And you don't quite have the same control. The same control, so I'm trying to hold this down now. There we go. Give myself a little bit of darkness on one side and a touch of the white highlight on the other. Okay. And then a little bit of Old Olive for the leaves. Okay. Obviously when I'm wearing gloves, I can't hold on to the pieces as well. Okay. So we have those ones done. I'm removing the glove because this is getting really hot and really hard to do. Okay, so to put it together, very easy. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm flipping over my icing. I want it to have a little more lift compared to my pudding. And so I'm going to put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of my icing. I'm going to peel them off. Okay, so this wasn't quite as fast as I originally predicted it being. Once again, I'm keeping my ear on the kids, so. Okay. Now I'm going to put on my little cherry dot, or cranberry, whatever it is. I'm going to use just a touch of glue, or you could use another Stampin' Dimensional. Put that on right here. And then I'm going to add my leaves. Okay, it would appear they don't cooperate, so I'm going to put the leaves on first. My last one I actually did with Stampin' Dimensionals. Today is not my day. Okay, I got that one stuck down. I'm slowly running out of time, of course. And nothing is cooperating. Okay, there we go. If you're doing it with just glue, put the leaves down first and then the berry. If you're doing it the berry on a Stampin' Dimensional, then you can put the berry down first and then the leaves tucked under underneath. Okay, so we have that one done. Now we're just going to quickly add a little bit of Crystal Effects and glitter to the top. Normally I was going to add some red glitter to the main cherry part, although we're running out of time, so I'm not going to right now. I'm just going to add some quick little dots like this, and then I'm going to lightly sprinkle with my Dazzling Diamonds glitter. Okay, I'm feeling the pressure now as my timing's coming to an end. Okay, so there you got it. We have our Christmas pudding ready to go onto our little tags and cards, and it's really fast, it's really easy, and it doesn't take a lot of supplies. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you again next week.